Welcome to Grow My Etsy Shop podcast, the drips of knowledge you need to start growing. Hey, welcome. So today's a good day. Let me tell you why. I have been talking a long time about the Etsy email templates that I've been writing to just get everything done for you. Set everything up, get the campaigns done, get them all set out, set it and forget it, making more money, templates. And I finally finished them. They're done. I'm so stoked. I purposely didn't take anyone in the growth program this month because I'm like, I'm going to sit down and just crank this out. It's been something I've been doing a long time, and I've had the information. I actually had access to Etsy shops that allowed me to build all their emails for them. I found one that worked really well. I started building that out into other Etsy shops and was like, yes, these are the campaigns. These are the things that work. And then I had to make it so that other niches could use them and all that kind of stuff. But it's taken a long time. That's what I'm trying to say. But I got it, and it's done. And now you can literally get this thing. There's videos step by step. The templates are there. You just drop them in, and you are off to the races. And so the reason I built this is because as I meet with Etsy shops who are pretty consistent in sales, we usually do have the conversation about like, hey, what does life off of Etsy look like for you? And, you know, in the future. And where Etsy is like a dungeon for its users, they really don't want anyone to leave the platform ever. That's a hard conversation to have. And so where we get our kind of arrow of light is in the email game. And that's because for a long time, Etsy was very weird about emails. They did not want you to have access to emails. You couldn't do anything with it. And then they said, fine. We'll give you access to this Aweber that requires people to double opt-in. That way, they're for sure. It does lower the opt-in rate if you're just trying to use the standard Aweber subject lines and stuff that they give you. You actually have to get stuff approved. But then from there, you can get access to your customers at this point. And now that's kind of your first step of like going into and off of Etsy and really building a brand that's going to work for you. What we don't want to do is just lock ourselves in the lead source of Etsy, that we become and live by Etsy. We really want to diversify our leads, where they're coming from, and build outside of that, so that, you know, even if as of today you're getting 5% of sales from your email, or 5% of sales from your social media, or 5% of sales from your website, like this is great because it's an additional 5% that you're adding into your shop that wasn't there before. And this is how we can essentially grow. So when I would meet with these shops and I would say, hey, here's our arrow of light. If you're looking for a way that you're not just in this cage of Etsy the rest of your life, this is where you need to start. And you need to start now, because you can start collecting these orders as they're coming in, and you could start converting these people, and you can start adding them to a list. We can start nurturing them. And these are the excuses I get. Number one is, it's on my to-do list. I know, Jared, it's on my to-do list, I hear it all the time. Number two is, I did it. I set up Aweber, but I haven't sent any emails out. And that's because we don't know what to say. I got them, and we all have been part of emails where they are scammy. We get something and it's kind of feels spam, and we're like, gross, and we don't like it. And we don't want to be that person. We don't want to be the person who's scamming everyone. And so we just say, well, you know what we'll do? We'll be cool, and we just won't speak. We'll just hang out in the background. No. There's a middle ground to this. That's what these email templates are going to teach you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What are some of those tricks that we can do? But before I do, I'll give my call to action so that it's there, and then you guys can go. And if you're like, no, Jared, I'm just going to learn from your podcast and do it all myself, great. I'm going to be sharing a lot of what's in the stuff here. You can go do that and be great. So the call to action is growmyetsyshop.com/email. The normal price for this. I try to keep things as cheap as I can and just sell at volume, as opposed to, you know, a few things and sell to. There's two different ways of selling in this world, right? I could sell something for $10,000 and sell it to one person, or I can sell something for $1 and sell it to 100,000 people. That's kind of, you know, there's two different business models. I tend to be more on that side. This has kicked my butt, so I'm selling it for $220. But this is a big one. My Etsy shop people. My people well, first of all, if you've been in the growth program, don't buy it, because it's going into the modules. And so it's a bonus section that you're going to get in there, which means because you have lifetime access to the modules, it's there for you. But I always do give out discounts to the podcast listeners. This is actually, if you want to know the inside scoop on this, this will be the first time that I'm going to pay for advertising. I'm going to pay for advertising to run to my landing page and sell this because I know it could be really beneficial. So my people who are going to be getting it cold are going to be paying a little bit more money than the people who are podcast listeners who've been with me for this whole thing. And, I always try to kick my stuff too. So for you guys, it's 70% off. 70% off is what I'm offering it for. So if you want to take advantage of a 70% off deal, I'm going to be having that probably to the end of the month through June. And so this is a great time to just go in there, get this thing, get your emails done. And where this is the summer slowdowns anyway, this is the perfect time to be building your emails and doing your stuff. Okay, that's my call to action. Let's talk. Okay, I'm going to share with you. So one of them is an email that's actually in the templates, and one of them is I have a bonus section in the templates as well that's like just covers everything. It's like, here's how if you want to build out emails for a year, you can use these writing frames and these chat GPT prompts, and these things will do this, and just plug this in here, and kind of goes through a lot of that. But I also share just some really effective strategies. So let's start with the one that's in the template. So I kind of teased about this last week. I talked about, how do we get someone to opt into our list, and was sharing there needs to be something we offer, something that gets these people in. So we're not just saying, hey, confirm to my newsletter, but we're like, hey, you just bought this. Do you want this that goes with it? Well, just confirm your email. We'll connect that. What a lot of people do right now, and just kind of want to do, they don't really want to do extra work. They're willing to just say, I'll just give my people a discount. I'm just going to say, hey, thanks for your order. If you want a coupon. Now, what's hard about the coupon is that they just bought. And so they just bought, and now you're like, hey, do you want 50% off? They're like, dude, I just bought. So a way that we kind of make this work is that we promise one thing. Hey, I got this 15% off coupon. And when they opt in, we bump it up to 20. And the reason we do this is that because the subject line, so they opt in, they're like, yeah, I'll get a 15% off my next purchase, opt in. Again, it's not my favorite way to get someone to opt in. However, I do have templates for it because I know people really like it. The subject line that comes after, so after they opt in, the subject line that's going to come after is, I know I said 15%, ... Because then it's like, well, what? And then you click it and you say, hey, I know I said 15%, but for you, 20%. Now, all the emails I write, I don't use we. We at Little Boutique. Our mission, when you're talking like you have a team of people, on Etsy, we have personal relationships. The shop owner's name is there. People are connecting with one another. We use I in our wordage. We speak saying I. Hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I can help you. Hey, here's this thing. Hey, I'm going to do this for you. Because that's how you get 5-star reviews. We doesn't get 5-star reviews. Our mission doesn't get 5-star reviews. We don't say, you know what, I'm going to review the grocery store Ralph's. You probably don't know what Ralph's is. It's in the West Coast. Because, man, they just got great produce. It's not how we think. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give, I can't think of a restaurant that everybody would know, McDonald's 5 stars because, boy, their Big Mac is good. When we are motivated to leave reviews is when we receive the special touch from someone. Someone interacts with us in a way that increases our stuff. You'll notice as you read through, especially reviews that are like if you just go to, what's that freaking website called? The Owl one. TripAdvisor. Sheesh. If you go to TripAdvisor and you look at some of the top tours, watch how many people are mentioned by name because these people know the secret. They know if we want good reviews, we're going to have our guides provide above expectation guides. And our guides will get the reviews, which will then reflect on our company. And that's how it connects. And so when we speak to people in the we or our form, we're bringing in this brand, this boring person who's just following and jumping the ropes. But when you come to play and you say, hey, I know it's a 15% off, but I'm going to give you 20 because I like you. There's a connection there. Hey, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for this thing. And now when we're following up and we kind of say, hey, you got any beef? contact me here. If you don't, here's a spot for a review. These are all in the templates. You've connected on a one-on-one thing, and you gave them more than what they expected, which is the key to 5-star reviews. They thought they were the handshake deal they had was, I'm going to give you my email and you're going to give me 15% off. And when you said, hey, I know I told you 15, but I'm going to hook you up with 20. You just took that to the next level, that customer service to the next level. Now when they think about you, there's a talk trigger is what it's called. There's a talk trigger. Oh yeah. This Etsy just asked if I want to leave a review. I did. That was really nice, and they gave me 20% off. Ding! That's all it takes is these little things. And so that's how I purposely kind of use my strategy. I guess you'll see I just did it right now. Oh, here's something I'm doing in my actual landing page. If you go to my landing page, you're going to see it's like what I told you. It's $220, but for you, $67. Now, if you keep scrolling, you're going to see I offer to build everything for you. Meaning, hey, do you not even want to watch a video? Do you just want to say, hey, Jared, here's my Weber account. Do the whole thing for me. I offer that, but I offer it at a kind of an expensive price. The reason I do that is that how much more does it make the offer that I just gave you more valuable? Because now when you look at the offer, you're like, oh my gosh, he charges $767 to build it all for me. Or I could just take his entire template, everything that he's written, everything he's going to plug in, and get it for $67. This is a stellar deal. That's the purpose I have there. I don't think anyone's going to take advantage of that offer. And if you do, you must be really busy, because you can literally just take the stuff and plug it in. I know that, but I'm purposely laying it out so that when people see this, they go, oh my gosh, I'm getting this for a really good deal. Sorry, I know that I'm talking to the people I'm literally selling to, but obviously my end goal is that you do well in your life. And so hearing these techniques, I hope you can hear how this works and how buyer psychology is, and being like, oh, this is a great deal. I really appreciate Jared for this. And you become a fan of Jared and keep listening to the podcast and all that kind of stuff. So that's how that all works. So to recap, when you get someone to opt in give you their email, that's the handshake. That means they're expecting 15% off, but they're giving you something for that 15% off. Up it up. Just an extra 5%. That's going to win them over. That they're going to go, ooh, wow, I like this. People love people who take care of them. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about anything. So on this note, this is something that's not in the templates, but it's in the bonus section. It's just like I just said, like, hey, here are some really creative ideas that as you get forward and as you're just kind of like doing launches and sales and whatever, here's some techniques that you can use to, make them work more or less. So here's something that is kind of sneaky as well, but it works really well, is that when you run a sale, you're just saying, hey, it's Memorial Day or whatever it is. And when you run sales, you run them between 3, 5, and 7 days. Those are usually the longest you want to run sales. And here I am running a sale to the end of June. But for people who actually want to make money, you're going to want to do it somewhere between 3, 5, and 7 days, because then you can send follow-up emails and close emails. My gosh, now that I'm saying it out loud, maybe I should, because then I could send emails and I could close and do the stuff I just taught. Gosh. Wish I would have thought about that before I started talking on my podcast. Okay. What you do is you send, when you launch your sale, it's Memorial Day weekend, whatever, and you say, hey, we're going to be offering this percentage off. And the percentage, let's just say, is 20%. Okay. So you're saying, hey, I've got this big thing. It's 20%. No. You make the coupon code for 30%. Whoa. Why? Because people are coming in thinking they're going to get 20%. I know. Trust me on this. So what happens is people come in and they start to enter this thing, and now it's 30% off. The abandoned carts that take place during sales is really high, because everyone's curious and they want to know, well, how much is it going to be with shipping, and how much is it going to cost here, and how much is it going to do here. So yeah, sometimes they think, oh my gosh, 20% off. And then they come in and you tack on $8 for shipping, and they go, ooh, that slowed me down. Or they say, oh, I'm going to add this to my cart. I'm going to buy this later. Or yeah, I was just kind of curious what this is. Or I just had a little bit of a FOMO or a little bit of a adrenaline rush of adding this to my cart, but I didn't really think it through. I need to think it through more. Like, there's a lot of abandoned carts. That's a good way to say it. That take place during sales. But when somebody gets a coupon code and they go and all right, so let's see what the 20% off, and they type it in, and they go, well, let's see, shipping was $8, and then they go, wait a second, this is 30% off. It closes the gap of abandoned carts. People are like, oh, take advantage. You then give it about 24 hours, send a second email. And this is why this is really great, is because, you may feel like, I don't want to just tell people this, have a sale. Hey, I have a sale. Hey, I have a sale. And so you send a sale thing, and then 24 hours you write something, you say, hey, we made a mistake. Yeah, we got a problem. And people are like, what's going on? And then they come in, and then you're able to say, hey, we had this coupon code. It was actually supposed to be only for 20% off. We found out through orders that it was actually been 30% off. That's totally our bad. However, we're going to leave it. This is a one-time thing. We're going crazy here. We're going to leave this here for you. Take advantage of this thing. And it is a great way to just get back in there, push people through, build that urgency back up, and get people excited about what's happening. So you'll catch the theme of my overall advice here, which is when you have someone's ear or have someone's attention and they've given you a handshake, oh, this is what I'm getting, this is what I'm giving in return, find ways to just kind of say a little extra penny in the well, if you will. Bing, 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 that you can toss these things in so that people go, oh, hey, thanks. Whoa, appreciate that. And those touch points is what wins people over. And so we have multiple goals on Etsy. One is we want them to leave us a 5-star review. Like if someone just buys from us, great, that gives us money in our account. But the 5-star review helps us grow. We also want that user to come back. This one technique does both of those things. It leads to higher reviews and leads a user to come back. And when and if you use these templates, that's what we're pushing towards. We're pushing to get these people to come back. And so, yeah, the whole purpose is like someone buys from us and within the next 40 days, we want that person to come back and give us more money because that increases the order value of a customer for you. If 20% of your buyers come back and buy an additional product from you, even if it's discounted, your overall order value of a customer is going to go up for the month. So instead of making $15 a customer, you might be making now $17 a customer across the board, right? This is where this can be very valuable to you. So this is why we want to automate this process. We want a way that we are adding those touch points, that we're adding these little moments to them, but we're not having to handwrite a note to every single person, which is kind of what a lot of Etsy people feel like they need to do. They need to go in there and handwrite this note and get this done. But instead, you can automate this process and just surprise people. And the more you have this little, I was going to say lighten the loafers, but I don't think that's the way to say it. But like leprechaun is what I was kind of thinking. Like the more you kind of have this leprechaun approach of just kind of being sneaky and kind and leaving things, I guess leprechauns aren't overly kind, but you know what I mean. Leaving things behind for them, the more they're intrigued by you. And so the more likely they are to open these emails, the more likely they are just kind of like, oh, what do you have to say? Because they appreciate what you're doing. So that's a good way to do it. Overall, be kind. Go the extra mile. Do a little bit more than what you agreed on. And use I's and me instead of our and we. Connect them to you. Have them leave a review about you. And you'll get more reviews. So that is it for today's podcast. Hopefully you guys go and get these email templates because they were a butt ton of work for me. The last thing I want is to have them just fizzle out and be like, well, that was your biggest waste of my time. But B, more importantly, it's all about me. More importantly, they are proven to work. And I'm telling you, it's what every Etsy shop should be doing. They should be collecting emails from their orders and nurturing these people to come back. And where it can be done and you don't have to invest more time in it once it's done, it's literally something you do and then you can forget about it. Like, it is totally worth the money. So go take advantage. See you guys next week.